look at the timing. Look at the absolute, breathtaking disconnect between what is being typed and what is actually happening on the floor of the market. We have a source packet full of triumphalism today. It's loud. It's performative. It's overflowing with self-congratulation about nominees, about legislative victories, about a Congress that is supposedly rewriting history. And yet, if you look at our tape, if you look at the actual prints, the narrative is fracturing in real time. The numbers don't care how loud you type them. They only care about the truth of the print. Let's start with the noise. We have a flood of announcements. A nomination for the United States District Court in North Dakota. Phil Axt, Solicitor General, a warrior who litigated against Biden policies. Then another from Missouri, Jesus Osseet from the Civil Rights Division. The language is identical, a strong defender of the Constitution. It's a branding exercise. And then there's the legislative victory lap. James Braid, Director of Legislative Affairs, leaving the White House. And what do we get? A list of accomplishments that reads like a fantasy novel. The one big beautiful bill, beating Democrats in shutdown showdowns, passing the Genius Act, defeating a record number of war powers resolutions, confirming the cabinet at the fastest rate in decades. It's all there, laid out in the source packet as if these are undisputed facts, as if the work is done. But look at the imagery he chose to amplify this narrative. He posts a picture of himself pushing a pipe labeled Keystone through dirt, with a tombstone that reads "Buried by Biden." It's crude. It's symbolic. It's about energy independence, about jobs, about America first. He posts images of hallways, of podiums, of the Lincoln Memorial with a green outline of a profile in the reflecting pool, some vague, artistic reference to legacy or perhaps erasure. He amplifies tweets from Byron York claiming Michael Cohen's statements demolish the hush money case. He shares bullet point lists from Rapid Response 47 and Benny Johnson claiming that in just one and some amount years, he has rebalanced trade with Canada, protected manufacturing from China, restored fairness to NATO, toppled Maduro, stopped Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, and unleashed American energy. It is a comprehensive claim of total victory across every front of governance. And then we look at the tape. The tape does not celebrate. The tape does not cheer. The tape prints. And what it prints is fear. It prints a flight to safety so intense it distorts the entire landscape of risk. Look at DJT. Our tape shows DJT jumped up 2.69%, 41st percentile. It surged at the open, up 3.04% versus prior close, a 97th percentile of its overnight gaps. On the surface, that looks like a win. That looks like confidence. But look closer at the context. Look at what else is moving. Look at VIXI. Our tape shows VIXI jumped up 1.78%, 20th percentile. It jumped at the open, up 1.64% vs prior close, a 87th percentile of its overnight gaps. The VIXI is the fear index. It's the volatility proxy. When it jumps like that, especially with that percentile spike, it means the market is bracing for turbulence. It means the peace and stability being touted in the posts are not being priced in by the algorithms. They are pricing in risk. And look at the growth engines. Look at ITA. Our tape shows ITA dropped down 1.46%, 79th percentile. It fell at the open. Down 0.97% vs prior close, 87th percentile of its overnight gaps. Technology and innovation are selling off. Hard. And look at IWM. Our tape shows IWM dropped down 1.18%, 75th percentile. It fell at the open, down 0.89% versus prior close, a 95th percentile of its overnight gaps. The small caps, the domestic economy, the Main Street businesses are retreating. They are moving with that high percentage urgency because they are sensitive to interest rates, to policy uncertainty, to the very showdowns and war powers resolutions being claimed as victories. You cannot claim legislative dominance while the underlying capital flows out of the companies that rely on predictable governance. And then there is GLD. Our tape shows GLD jumped up 1.1%, 69th percentile. It jumped at the open, up 1.28%, vest prior close and 98th percentile of its overnight gaps. Gold, the ultimate safe haven. When gold spikes this hard, when it hits the 98th percentile on its overnight gaps, it is screaming one thing. Investors are fleeing to the only asset they trust because they do not trust the fiat system, they do not trust the policy narrative, and they certainly do not trust the one big beautiful bill to hold together. They are buying gold because they are selling everything else. So here is the truth. He is posting about Keystone pipelines and judicial nominees. He is posting about defeating Democrats and restoring fairness. He is amplifying tweets that say he has solved problems that plagued the nation for generations. It is a masterclass in distraction. It is a rendering error of reality. But the tape has no soaring and no crashing, only prints. And the prints show a market that is terrified. DJT might be up, but it's likely the Trump trade being unwound or hedged against the very volatility VIXI is measuring. ITA and IWM are falling. Gold is flying. The capital is leaving the growth sectors and hiding in the precious metals. The legislative victories claimed in the posts are not convincing the market. The judicial nominations are not calming the fear. Quiet days are exactly when you should get suspicious. When the posts are loud, when the lists of achievements are long, when the imagery is triumphant and the language is absolute, demolish, toppled, unleashed, that is when the market is whispering its dissent. And our tape is not whispering. It is shouting that the foundation is shaky. The numbers don't care about your nominees. They don't care about your big, beautiful bills. They only care about risk. And right now, the risk is off the charts. That's the show. We're on Spotify and YouTube. If this earned it, like, subscribe, tell a friend. And housekeeping. The machine that writes this gets tuned constantly for cleaner news. The numbers are real. The jokes are not. One more thing, this whole station runs on one garage computer. And if the tape ever earned you a coffee, there's a tip jar at informant.reiners.io. It keeps the phone line on